Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving into the ultimate financial showdown. Here's the setup. Jake leases a car. Marcus buys the exact same car. They both walk away thinking they made the smarter choice. And honestly, they're both totally wrong, because neither of them actually ran the numbers. We're going to break down the exact math of buying versus leasing today, and let me tell you, the final gap between the two is way, way bigger than anyone expects.
So, let's keep this completely fair. Jake and Marcus, they both earn $55,000 a year. They both want the exact same car, a $30,000 sedan. We're talking the same model, same trim, even the same color. They literally walk into the exact same dealership on the exact same day. The only difference between them is the piece of paper they sign at the end.
Okay, let's dive into this. Jake signs a 36-month lease. He puts $2,000 down at signing, and his payment is a cool $299 a month. The salesman assures him he's getting an absolutely stellar deal. Low monthly payment, brand new car, full warranty coverage, and hey, in 3 years he can just hand the keys back and walk away. Simple, clean, no strings attached. At least, that's how it sounds, right? Marcus, on the other hand, takes out a 60-month auto loan at 6% interest. His down payment is $3,000, and his monthly payment sits at $522. But there's a huge catch here that Jake doesn't realize just yet. The structure of his deal is fundamentally different from Marcus's in a way that goes way beyond those monthly payments. You see, every dollar Marcus spends is buying him a piece of something. Every dollar Jake spends, he's just renting a piece of something. But listen, on day one, that structural difference is completely invisible. What isn't invisible is the monthly difference, $223. That's how much more Marcus is paying than Jake every single month. The salesman doesn't even need to say a word. Marcus can feel that hit to his wallet already. On day one, Jake's pockets are heavier, his payment is lighter, and he drives off that lot feeling like he absolutely outsmarted the system.
And you know what? For the first 3 years, Jake is living the dream. He's got the brand new car, that intoxicating new car smell, and a full manufacturer warranty. Something goes wrong mechanically? Covered. Needs new brake pads? Covered. The air conditioning just randomly dies in the middle of July? Boom, covered. Jake's only costs are his lease payment, his insurance, and gas. That is literally it. No surprises, no anxiety, and definitely no massive repair bills showing up out of nowhere. Now Marcus, well, that's a very different story. He is shelling out $522 every month while watching his car lose value in real time. The second he drove off the lot, his $30,000 car was suddenly worth around $27,000. By the end of year one, it dropped to about $23,000. This puts Marcus in a really frustrating financial position known as being underwater, which basically means owing more on the loan than the vehicle's actually worth. By year two, his car is worth maybe $20,000. But his loan balance? Yeah, it's still sitting at around $22,000. That means for the first couple of years, Marcus is totally underwater. Psychologically, that feels awful. Every payment feels like he's just throwing cash into a black hole. Jake sees this, everyone around Marcus sees this, and the verdict seems super obvious. Jake made the smart call. No doubt about it.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is when we run the actual numbers through year three. Jake has paid $2,000 down plus 36 months at $299. That's $12,764 total. Marcus paid his $3,000 down plus 36 months at $522. That's $21,792 total. So Jake has spent $9,028 less than Marcus. On paper, at the 3-year mark, Jake is winning by nearly 10 grand. I mean, that is not a small gap. But wait, year three is exactly where this whole story takes a massive turn. Jake's lease is officially up. He drives back to the dealership and he has to face the reality of his contract, which completely centers on the car's residual value. That's just a fancy term for the predetermined price the dealer set for the car at the very start of the lease. For a $30,000 car after 3 years, that's usually going to sit around $16,000 to $18,000.
So Jake is sitting there facing 3 options. Option 1, he can buy the car at that residual value. Option 2, he can just walk away, hand back the keys, and owe nothing. Or option 3, lease a brand new car and start the entire cycle all over again. Jake does what 80% of leasers do. He leases again. New car, new contract, another $2,000 down at signing, another $299 a month, another 36 months. He is right back to month 1. The odometer reads 0, sure, but the payment counter? Yeah, that doesn't reset at all.
Now let's look at Marcus. He is 36 months into a 60-month loan. He still has 24 payments left to go. That's frustrating, for sure. But here's the critical difference. Marcus actually has an end date. It is circled right there on his calendar. Every single payment he makes brings him one step closer to owning this car completely outright. Every payment Jake makes just brings him one step closer to giving the car back and starting over. This right here is the fundamental difference between leasing and buying that the whole monthly payment conversation completely hides. One is a conveyor belt, the other has an actual finish line.
Month 60 arrives. Marcus makes his final payment. And that's it. Done. The car is 100% his. Title in hand, his monthly car payment literally drops to zero. From this point forward, Marcus's only car-related costs are insurance, gas, and basic maintenance, which, runs about $100 to $150 a month for oil changes, tires, brakes, and the occasional repair. But Jake, he is still swiping his card for $299 every single month.
And this brilliantly illustrates the scoreboard at the end of year 6. Jake has now completed 2 full leases. He spent $2,000 down on lease 1, $10,764 in payments, then another $2,000 down on lease 2, and another $10,764 in payments. That's $25,528 total. And what does he own? Absolutely nothing. No asset, no title, just a giant stack of receipts. Marcus, meanwhile, spent $3,000 down plus $31,320 in loan payments. That's $34,320 total on the loan. But he now has 0 monthly payments, and he actually owns a car worth $11,000 to $13,000.
The crazy thing is, Jake doesn't even think about the $299 anymore because it has just become a normal part of his life. And that is the true hidden danger of leasing. It normalizes a permanent car payment. It just becomes background noise in your budget. But make no mistake, background noise still costs real money, and it is secretly draining your wealth month after month.
And remember, the monthly payment is just the number the dealership wants to put in front of you. It's the flashy number on the commercial, the website, the little laminated card the salesman slides across the desk. But what they do not slide across the desk is the huge list of hidden conditions attached to that $299 payment.
Let's talk about the hidden taxes of leasing for a second. First off, mileage gaps. Most leases only allow 10,000 to 12,000 miles a year, but get this, the average American actually drives 13,500. Going just 5,000 miles over your limit can trigger a surprise $750 to $1,250 penalty on your final bill. Then there's wear and tear, which is entirely defined by the dealer. That tiny door ding or coffee stain? Yeah, that's billable. Plus, if you decide not to lease from them again, there's a disposition fee of $300 to $500 literally just to process your return. And if you lose your job and need to exit early, you might owe the entire remaining balance. You are completely locked in.
Now, we got to keep this totally fair and objective. Buying definitely has its real burdens too. Once that manufacturer warranty expires around year 3 or 4, everything falls on Marcus. Out-of-warranty maintenance averages around $1,200 to $1,800 a year. The unpredictability is what people really struggle with. Some years it's just basic tires, other years it's a painful $2,000 transmission repair. And that initial depreciation hit is very real. But here's the magic. Depreciation slows down dramatically the longer you hold the car. Time is literally the buyer's best friend. So let's look at the grand finale timeline, the 10-year mark. Over 10 years, Jake has cycled through 3 or 4 leases. Adding in all his down payments, monthly payments, mileage overages, wear and tear, and those pesky disposition fees, Jake's total 10-year spend sits somewhere between $45,000 and $52,000. Marcus, factoring in his loan payments and all his maintenance and out-of-pocket repairs over the entire decade, spends roughly $44,000 to $48,000.
So, the crucial point is this. When you net it all out, Marcus actually spent less money overall, and he still has an older, fully paid-for car sitting in his driveway worth about $4,000 to $6,000. Jake spent more money than Marcus did, and he has absolutely nothing to show for it but receipts. The car he's driving isn't his. It never was.
Over a single decade, that is a $15,000 to $25,000 gap. But here's the scary part. Most people repeat this cycle over their entire adult lives. If you multiply that gap out, projecting it over 40 or 50 years, you are looking at a staggering 6-figure wealth gap, well over $100,000 between a habitual leaser and someone who just buys and holds. Now, I'd be totally lying if I told you leasing never ever makes sense. There are for sure exceptions. If you own a business, lease payments can be tax deductible, which changes the math entirely. If you drive a high-end luxury car like a BMW where a simple brake job is $4,000, leasing keeps you permanently inside that safe warranty window. And theoretically, if you took the $223 a month you saved by leasing and invested it into an index fund, averaging 8 to 10%, you could actually come out ahead. But let's be super honest here. That requires a level of strict discipline most people simply don't have.
For the average person, driving an average sedan, buying and holding undeniably wins.
The real trap here isn't strictly the act of leasing or buying. The trap is making a massive $30,000 financial decision based purely on a monthly payment without running the actual numbers. You have to reframe your thinking from what's the monthly affordability to what is the lifetime cost.
So the very next time someone slides a monthly payment across a dealership desk and it looks just a little too good to be true, I want you to pause and ask yourself this exact question. What does this actually cost me when it's all over? Because at the end of the day, when that finish line is finally crossed, that is the only number that truly matters.